Hello and welcome to today's Ham Chat Live. We got a very important Ham Chat Live today, a very in-depth presentation, if you will, on what it is I think is a badass. I'm going to be going into the details, and the reason I wanted to do this video is because this is a term that I throw around quite often, and honestly, it's just something that I believe I was put on this earth to do, was to build badasses. And so it's something I talk about quite a bit, like what's transformed you into a badass. And so I wanted to go into more detail on what a badass is exactly. And so to start off here, I actually looked it up to see what the definition was. And what I got back was a tough, uncompromising, intimidating person. All right? And so, yeah, that's true. That's true somewhat to a point. But I'm going to be going a hell of a lot deeper than that in this regard, in regards to what an actual badass is. All right? And so when you think of badass, and feel free to comment in. If you're watching this right now, comment in. Drop comments, ask questions, whatever. But in your mind, what comes up, right? Most people are going to say, you know, a badass is somebody that's strong. Yeah, I can agree with that. A badass is somebody that's lean, ripped, whatever you want to say. Jacked, right? Fit. Fit is going to be another one, right? In my mind, just the first things that come up, right? So a badass is somebody that's strong, lean, ripped, shredded, fit. I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that for sure. These right here, these are only surface level things of what an actual badass is, okay? So we have this thing, this badass up here, right? Surface level stuff, being strong, lean, ripped, fit. I really don't think that makes you a badass. Just because you're strong, lean, shredded, you're fit, I don't think that makes you a badass necessarily. On the other side here, another thing that I feel pops up, respect. So a badass is one of those people that, walk into the room, just kind of commands respect, right? Like people look at them, they turn their heads. They say, there goes the badass, right? It's that type of guy, right? So I agree there, but again, I believe that's only surface level stuff right here. Having respect, right? Being strong, lean, ripped, fit. I believe it goes a whole lot deeper, and that's what I'm going to get into here, right? So, I believe there's two key elements with different attributes that make up a badass. And once I go through this will be kind of the framework that you can use yourself to kind of reverse engineer, so to speak, how to become a true badass. All right, so let's start with the easy stuff, right? So we got the physical piece over here. The physical piece, I already mentioned like being strong. I'm going to take out ripped because I don't think you have to be extremely ripped to be a badass. I think it's a bonus, definitely. But I definitely do believe you need to be strong. You need to be able to handle your own shit. Doesn't mean that you have to have a 500-pound deadlift or a 400-pound back squat or, have to lift a certain amount of weight, but you just need to be strong. Like you need to be pushing your body physically to build it into a stronger body, right? Like you shouldn't be weak. A badass is never going to be weak. So that's a focus that you have. Lean, I believe you should be lean to be a badass. You should have control in regards to your body composition. Does it mean that you have a six-pack? No. But it means that you have control over that, right? So you're eating in a way that you're healthy, you're fit, right? Fitness as well. I believe that's a physical attribute that you should have. I know a lot of guys that are strong, that are seriously strong, that are way unfit. They can't even go up a set of stairs, right? So these are surface level things. I think it goes a little bit deeper. I'm going to add in athletic. Athletic. I think you should be athletic. If you're going to be a badass, you should be athletic. Meaning, you should be functional. Functional meaning you can move. You can move without pain. You can move without restriction. Again, I know guys that are strong. I know guys that are lean. I know guys that are fit, that are way fucking unfunctional. Like they can barely touch their toes. Right? To me, that's not a badass. Like you should be functional. Like you should be doing the things you need to be doing to become more functional. Right? If you're trying to build yourself into a badass is one that is functional. Right? In all of this, I believe a badass has a lot of resiliency. Through pushing his body hard, physically, building the strength, getting himself lean, getting himself fit, training like an athlete, being functional, in turn you build that resilience, that physical resilience to come back stronger, right? But at the same time, to build that resiliency, you need to be doing the things to recover as well. It's not just about beating yourself down into the ground. A badass knows, a true badass knows, it's about balance, right? It's about going hard and then resting. Going hard and resting. That's how you get strong. That's how you get fitter, through the rest. Through pushing hard, through the rest. What I feel ties this all together, though, this is very, very important, all right? This is very, very important in regards to the physical side. I think a badass, and I'll go ahead and say healthy, a badass is healthy. Meaning, in the pursuit of getting strong, in the pursuit of getting lean, in the pursuit of getting fit and athletic, becoming more functional, becoming more resilient, you're doing it in a healthy and smart way. So again, it's not just about, let's see how much weight I can lift because I'm going to be the badass at the Globo gym in the corner doing, half squats with as much weight on my back as possible. Like some people might think that's badass, but I just think it's dumb, right? So do it in a healthy manner. So eat in a healthy manner. If you want to get lean, do it the right way. Don't go on some quick fix, gimmicky bullshit diet where you're going to be starving yourself and you ruin your metabolism, right? Do it in a healthy way. That's what I feel builds a badass on the physical side. On the physical side. So that's only one element to building a badass. The other side, way more important. In my mind, because that's exactly what it's about, is up here. What is going on up here with the badass, right? How do you build yourself into a badass? Mental-wise, it starts with, and respect is going to come, right? Respect is going to come when you become the badass, right? But I believe it all starts with confidence. Having confidence in oneself, going a step further, having the belief in oneself. That's a badass in my mind. I'll tell you a story. When I was younger, in high school, I was a badass physically. I wrestled. Wrestling was one of my favorite sports ever. I preferred wrestling over football, baseball, but I ended up playing football and baseball in college. However, in high school, I had all the physical attributes you could ask for to be a state champion. I wanted nothing more to be a state champion. I wanted to be the fucking badass. I wanted to be the badass, standing at the top of that podium with the gold medal, state championship bracket. Those dudes are badasses, and what separates them, yes, the physical side separates those guys, but what is it that truly separates the badasses from the others? Their mentality. And that's something that I didn't have as a younger athlete. I was missing the mental side. I had all the physical side. I was missing this. And one of the biggest pieces I was missing was that belief in myself. I was scared. I was afraid. I had self-doubts. And I visioned myself losing before I even stepped on the mat. And so there was no way I was ever going to become a state champ with that type of mindset. So I look back at that, and I learned from it. I learned from it, right? So that's the next piece. Positive mindset. Positive mindset. Always looking forward, learning from your mistakes. Instead of letting mistakes set you back and hold you down, a true badass is going to come back fucking stronger because they're going to learn from their mistakes, right? And so for me, looking back at when I didn't have that confidence, when I didn't have that belief in myself, I look at that and I use that as a source of fuel to push me ahead today. But in certain instances where I don't have that belief in myself, I think back to that and the mistake that I made and what I gave up, what I missed out on opportunity-wise. I put in all the work here, but I didn't have the belief. And if you want to be a true badass, you must have the belief. Right? So with that, the next piece I wanted to talk about. So we got respect is just going to be gained, right? You got to have the confidence, positive mindset. What I believe comes next is living in an abundant frame of mind. Meaning, you're the opposite of scarcity. All right? Scarcity, when you live in scarcity, when you live with a scarcity type of mind, you think everything's limited, right? Especially when it comes to things like money. And I'll use money as a perfect example because I have a lot of conversations with guys oftentimes when they have an opportunity in front of them to change their life. They're so fucking scared because A, they don't have the belief in themselves, and then B, they think they're going to lose money, where when you have the scarcity type mindset, yes, you believe you'll never get it back. So just using this example, money, you can always make money back. Money is a form, I guess money is a vessel to freedom, right? We're getting a little bit off track here, but using this as an example, money, something you can always get back. You invest in yourself, right? If it doesn't work out, oh well, you lost money, that's fine. But one thing you can't get back is time. One thing you can never get back is time, all right? So live with the abundant mindset, not the scarcity mindset. When you're living in a scarcity type mindset, you live overwhelmed, you live stressed, you live frustrated. That scarcity will hold you back from being happy. I've been there. I've lived in the scarcity mindset. I slip back into the scarcity mindset every now and then. I catch myself, right? So you to be a true badass, you can't live in scarcity. You have to live with an abundant type of mindset, right? Next on the list here, I believe a badass is absolutely relentless. Relentless in a sense of taking action. But not only taking action, but taking massive action. Taking massive action. Not sitting around thinking about things. Not sitting around trying to analyze this and that and this and what if this happens or what if I fail. Yada, yada, yada. A badass, a true badass is relentless. He takes action. He sees an opportunity, he jumps for it. Steps forward, right? Got to be relentless. At the same time, relentless in the sense of no quit. There is no quit. It's not in a badass's vocabulary. It's not even a any bit within his mindset. A badass, there is no quit. There is no giving up. It's a choice. Quitting is a choice. Failure, on the other hand, failure is going to happen, right? Failure is going to happen with whatever it is you're doing, right? We all experience failures. Quitting, on the other hand, quitting is the actual decision to stop. Like, you fail, you can always come back. You can always forge yourself ahead. You can always come back stronger. Like I mentioned, learn from your failures, right? So you need to be relentless, taking action. Another attribute here. This is a big one. Focus. A badass is focused. Taking it a bit further. He knows exactly what it is that he wants because he's asked the hard questions. He's dug well below the surface. All right? Goals-wise, when you think about goals, oftentimes I'll have conversations with guys. I'll ask them what their goal is. My goal is to get biceps, big biceps, or I want to get six-pack abs. That's great. But what more do you want? Like, why do you want biceps? Why do you want six-pack abs? Why do you want to lose the fat? Why do you want to build the muscle? Why do you want to build your deadlift up to 500 pounds? Like, what is the real freaking reason? Like, get real with yourself. A badass digs down to the raw truth and knows exactly what it is he wants to the very detail, right? When you get focused, you gain clarity. Clarity. When you have clarity, guess what that gives you? More confidence and belief in what it is you're doing. Whereas when you're not focused, when you're one of those guys that's just bouncing around program to program, you start a program and then, a week later you're starting another program because you saw it on Facebook and it was cool, it looked awesome, and that program didn't work because you only gave it seven days, whatever. Going down that whole rabbit hole, right? You need to be focused. You need to know what it is you want. That'll give you clarity. That'll give you the confidence and the belief to move ahead. Right? This is huge. A badass is committed. A badass has commitment. He understands that it's a long-term process. Commitment, process. A badass understands that it's not about overnight success. It's not about quick fix results. It's about the long haul. It's about the long term, the process. A badass embraces the process for what it is. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. The process never stops. The process is the result, right? We keep forging ahead. That's what a true badass focuses in on. Is committed, embraces the process. From there, earn it. What I mean by earn it, a badass works for what it is that he wants. He's not expecting handouts. He doesn't want the easy route. We'll take the smart route, right? The smart route might be a little bit easier than, doing things the dumb way, but at the end of the day, a badass understands that if it's up to be, it is up to he, right? Earn it. Put in the time, put in the effort, put in the commitment. You will gain back what you deserve, right? Oftentimes we don't get what we think we deserve. We get what we actually earn, right? So it's very important to understand that piece, that last piece right there. Last but not least here, which I think is very important, a badass lives his life with integrity. A badass lives his life with integrity, meaning you do the right thing always, no matter what. You live by certain codes and you don't break those codes. You have integrity. Doing the right thing when nobody's around, doing the right thing because that's the right thing to do. That's what a badass does, my friends. Living with integrity. So, that's the definition of a badass. When I refer to a badass, this is what I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about a dude that's strong, that's lean, that's fit. Again, that's surface level shit, right? It goes well below the surface. A badass isn't only somebody that's respected, right? And in my mind, a true badass is going to earn that respect because all of this. All right? And if you tune in at the very beginning, you'll know this is the framework of becoming a badass. You can reverse engineer this. How do I get strong? How do I get lean? How do I get fit? How do I accomplish those things, right? How do I implement these into my life? How do I become more abundant? How to become more relentless? Take action. Stop sitting around thinking about it. Ready, fire, aim, right? Ready, fire, aim means fucking do it. Great book, by the way. No quit. Don't give up. Focus. Get focused. Get committed. Earn it. This, my friends, this is exactly what the Forged Warrior is all about. I get a lot of questions about, what's this Forged Warrior thing you do, Travis? This is an actual system that builds men into badasses. And so now that we have clearly defined what a badass is, that's exactly what the Forged Warrior does. That is the vessel to becoming a badass. All right? So before I close out here, for those that might be on live or those that might be tuning in after for the replay, if you're a man and you're wanting more in your life, you're wanting more on the physical side, you're wanting more on the mental side, you're not just looking to get strong, lean, and fit, but you want more. You want to dig well below the surface to build yourself into an actual badass. I invite you to apply for the Forged Warrior Project. Right now, I'm opening up a few more spots within the program. It demands a lot from a man. It's not just about workouts. It's not just about nutritional advice. Like, it goes well beyond that. Like, you need to be ready to work. You need to be ready to commit. You need to be ready to get fucking focused in on this, right? And so if that's you, if you're not scared away by this stuff, right, I invite you to apply for the Forged Warrior Project. I will post a link up below this video. So if it sounds like something that you want to do, I invite you to apply. From there, you and I will connect. We'll have a chat. We'll have a little bit of a breakthrough session, if you will. We'll figure it out. We'll talk. We'll see where you're at right now. We'll see what it is holding you back. And we'll see if we can't paint you a path to move you forward on to becoming a badass. All right? So if that's you, apply. I'll post a link up below. If not, thanks for tuning in. Drop any comments, questions, anything you got. But I hope that helped you out. Hope that paints a good picture of what a badass is. So until the next time, have a good one. Be the badass.